Okay, this video is to update my air conditioning situation. The video is to put on the LincolnsOnline.com website. I was communicating with a couple guys, Tim in particular. I just got your message that you were asking for an update, so this is kind of where I'm at. I did replace the compressor, update some people that aren't familiar with the job. I put a new compressor on here on this 95 Lincoln, and when I tried to charge it up, there was air in the lines, and Tim was right, it worked, but it didn't really get too cold. So I broke down and bought a vacuum pump. Now, this pump I bought on eBay, something USA Tool Warehouse or something like that. This is the reference number. It was $150, 25 to ship it, and it has some fittings here for the 134, or I guess you can do R12 and R22. When you get it, it does not have oil, but they do. Oh, it's actually low on oil. I put some oil in it, but it must have used it up. It's interesting, because it was just full when I had it running a little bit ago. I better add some more to that. Connected it to the low side, and I did not connect the high side. It's right here. Now when you look at these gauges, normally the gauge starts out with 0, and it kind of goes from there, 10, 20, 30, 40. But when you're vacuuming, you kind of go into negative. I ran this pump for about 30 minutes, and I shut it off, and that's kind of the vacuum I'm looking at now. So it's been holding it for about 5 minutes now. Now that I have the vacuum, if I read the procedure right, you shut this, you have to leave this shut off. Or when I break it loose here, I'm going to lose all my vacuum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to break this loose and move into the 134. And let me show you what I got. Just to give you an idea how quiet this pump is. You could hear it's actually not very noisy at all. Here's the 134 I bought. And this device right here, which is for sale at Advance Auto. Put the reference number on it. It goes onto the can. And once you're onto the can, you still need an adapter on this to connect to your feed line. And I have that too. Okay, this is the adapter. This adapter would normally go on a big tank of R134. So this will screw onto here, and this will go onto the can, and the yellow tube will go onto here. Now if I remember right, I'm going to need 3 of these cans to totally fill this system. So this is kind of where I'm at so far, just to update you guys. But you know, these manifold gauges do come in handy. Just to show you how like a backyard mechanic kind of reasons things out. You know, I used to have this to charge with. So you know that, you know, it's filled if it's in between 25 and 45. So I guess you can kind of reference that here. If I remember reading about these gauges right, so it's this number here, and then you kind of go into this blue part and you find the R134, and I believe that's kind of the temperature that it's kind of running at, which sometimes it doesn't make sense to me, because the lower the gas pressure, the cooler the temp. So I'm not sure how all that works, but they kind of give you this paper with the gauges. So you could, I guess, look it up there or kind of reference it here. So if you're running 26, it would be like 30 degrees. You know, the temperature of the R134. So this is kind of where we're at. I'm going to, now that I have the vacuum, I have this closed, And I'm just going to let it sit. If I remember right, the vacuum you had to pull was like 27. And that's kind of where I'm at, 27. The strange thing is, as soon as you start to vacuum up, within like a minute, you're right, like right here, which is hard to believe it did it that quick. But I let it run a whole half hour. And now we're just going to let it sit and see if it'll hold the vacuum. And then come back out and run a can of 134 in it. It's at night here, so I'm not sure. And the temperature's starting to drop outside. So I may just run, I don't know if I can get this job done tonight or not, but I'm going to give it a try. So this is kind of where I'm at so far. Just to give you a little update there. I always appreciate everyone's help on Lincoln's Online. It's a great resource for us guys here that love these Mercuries and love these Lincolns. Okay, okay, we're back 30 minutes later. Maybe the best we'll ever get out of this, 27. So it looked like it kind of stayed right where it was. If anything, it moved very little. So the next move is going to be to disconnect this. Being sure this is shut off. And get this going. Okay, we got this on. We still have our vacuum. We'll bleed a little bit through the lines there. Just into nothing here. This thing even on. Okay, we should have all the air out of this thing now. So if I did this right, when I crack this open, the air should go right into the system. I was hoping to hear the low pressure switch pop. I don't think I heard it pop. Oh, it's still going in. This is the switch here, that when the certain level of gas hits, it allows the compressor to come on.